Hello, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. How you doing, guys? Thanks very much for the many views I've been getting on my channel. Thank you very much for the comments. Thank you for the so many messages I get. I feel like Mike and Kim this weather. I started off this channel and it was self-help for me. It really was, because I was going through a bad time in my life, and yeah, I thought, you know what, I'm going to deal with the Jehovah's Witness stuff too, and it's just snowballed. I said I was talking to Mike and Kim today, and I was saying that I used to get maybe 10 messages a week. Now I get 5 to 10 every hour. It's just non-stop. I wake up in the morning, there's 100 messages to go through. It's brilliant, and I'm so glad that I can be helping anyone. But it is difficult to keep up with it. So my apologies if I don't get to everyone. This is a new video. It's one of my Agony Ant series. I only make Agony Ant videos if I'm asked to, okay? And if I've covered it, please look through my lists to see if maybe I've covered your problem before, because it's just so hard to find the time to even make a single video these days. I'm so busy with other stuff. But this is new. It's actually 2 questions, and I'm amalgamating them into one because I think it's very important. The 2 questions are, they're linked, but they're 2 separate problems. So I think you'll understand when I get to it. The first question I'm going to paraphrase, and then the next one I'm going to read you a little clip from the person's problem, and then their question. Okay? So the first question I received was from an ex-Jehovah's Witness whose mother was still a witness. He was taking his kids to see her, and while she had them, she was filling their head with Jehovah's Witness nonsense. Really, pardon me, quite unpleasant stuff about how the dad had let them down and stuff like this. Really nasty things. Despite the fact that he had told her many times that she was not to do this. Hang on, there's a message there. That she was not to do this. But she's ignoring it, as a lot of us Jehovah's Witnesses did. We're not very good with friendships, not very good with honouring boundaries. And if you have to get Jehovah's message out, you don't care who you hurt. And that's what she's doing. The other question, so that's the first one. He wanted to know what he should do in that circumstance. So I'm parking that one there, and then I'm going to add this one. You can see how the 2 are slightly together. And this was the comment that the person wrote. I just have to let this out. I had dinner with my mother, and she kept going on about the truth and how they were right. I proceeded to tell her that I will not support an organisation that protects paedophiles, which she said she hadn't seen any proof of. Well, you must have your eyes closed. I told her, because she didn't want to see it, that I have sent her countless news stories. Unfortunately, I got so upset that I let it slip that I had been raped, and that I am not going to support an organisation that protects rapists and paedophiles and makes the victims seem like monsters. I am now convinced more than ever that I have a sorry excuse for mother, because all she said was that it's not her fault. As usual, she is only concerned about herself, which is how a lot of JWs are. I told her how I find it difficult to keep talking to someone who supports an organisation that has done so much damage to people. Sorry, I'm welling up a little bit in reading this. She just kept making excuses. I told her I had things to do, left, and cried all the way home. She was the one that brought me into this cult to begin with, and right now I'm not sure if I want someone in my life who clearly only cares about herself. And my question is, she's wrote to me, since it seems to be mixed, is should I stay away from my mother, because honestly it's very hard to be around her, and my instinct is to get away, but then again she is my mother. Oh man, so you can see why the 2 problems come together. Obviously they're completely different, but they both deal with mothers, and they both deal with Jehovah's Witness mothers who don't know boundaries, who only care about themselves, who don't seem to have any natural affection. It's ironic that when we were witnesses we used to quote that scripture about people losing their natural affection, and in both of these instances you can really see where mothers have lost their natural affection that they had. And I mean, first of all, I want to say to the first guy, I'm so sorry you're going through this. I have children. When I first got married, I had issues with my in-laws, and it took a long time to get over them. I'm not saying that it's going to take time with Jehovah's Witness people, because I know exactly how it is. As for the lady who contacted me, I want to tell you that, as I said it before, I have children. I have a daughter and I have a little son. My attitude and the attitude of my wife is fairly simple. And pardon the crudeness, any Jehovah's Witnesses or Christians listening, but my attitude is this: if you fuck with my children, there will be blood. Okay? I'm a fairly friendly guy, but I would stone cold kill a man who touched my child. And that's the bottom line. To find that once you've joined a cult, that suddenly your feelings of familiarity, family, they just disappear. That suddenly it's all about, well, it's not my fault, I didn't do it, just because you're in the world, or whatever bullshit you want to say, breaks my heart. That said, let's talk about some things you can do. Should you hang around with a person whose sole interest is in demeaning you and belittling your beliefs and corrupting children? No, you shouldn't. That said, we all need babysitters. So it's a difficult circle to square, and I don't envy you that problem. What I would say is maybe you need to be a damn, this is to the fella now, you need to be a damn sight harder when you talk to your parents and explain to them exactly what they can and cannot do. And if they continue to do it, then you need to cut that off. You have children. It's bad enough that they're not having a proper relationship with their grandparents, but can you imagine if they became witnesses over this bullshit and then cut you off? No, I don't think it's worthwhile. I'm sorry. And this is really a similar answer to the next question. Should I be around someone who is so heartless, who cares so little about your really hard, difficult, tragic circumstances? And the answer I would say is no. What I would say is that if you're in that position, if you do visit your parents, and this is what I did, because my parents were witnesses for about 18 months after I left. What I would do is I would spend every moment that I see them basically throwing truth bombs at them, making clear to them that the stuff they believe is wrong, and force them to go on the defensive, force them to decide to shun you. You don't need to shun them. Just keep making yourself so difficult that they'll eventually say, oh, Jehovah, Jehovah, and throw up their hands and say they can't deal with you. It's not your problem then. It's their problem, okay? And you've done everything moral and right. That said, these problems don't go away. They get better with time, but they don't go away. And my heart goes out to both of you for both different and horrible problems. So sad that Jehovah's Witnesses destroy families. So sad that they corrupt people's consciences, so that they think what is abnormal is normal. And I hope you guys can all get some relief from it. But I would certainly say that for your own mental health, that you need to be around people who show you love. And I forget who said it. I saw this on a Facebook post, but you need to know when to leave the table when love is no longer being served. And you may need to do that. Hopefully your parents will come out. Mine did. I was very lucky. I'm not brave making these videos. I do them because no harm can come to me. If it can come to you, I understand your situation, and I feel for you. Guys, thank you very much for watching this video. You're in my thoughts. Semper Fi, brothers and sisters. Take care.